Hi everybody, we're back playing Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 TEW, and we are about to book our second pay-per-view here, February's Nothing to Lose, live only on pay-per-view. This is considered a historic event for SWF, so it's, you know, like the WWF or WWE, they have like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania and Survivor Series. There's another one, right? SummerSlam, yeah. So those are like considered historic events for them. So hopefully we match it. We'll see what happens. We got a backstage incident. ZWB. He said he put high flying. Man, everybody wants to put over Lenny or high flying Fawaiian. I'm just gonna call him Fawaiian from now on because apparently that's like a tongue twister. So we're gonna go to Canada because again, the wrestling industry is much higher in Canada. We've done Quebec. We've done Ontario. We'll do Alberta this time. The Saddle Dome. All right, I'm gonna book and I'll be right back. All right, folks, I did it, and let's start this pay-per-view and see what happens. Okay, so pre-show, not super important, but I just wanted to get these guys on the show. James Prudence beats Eric Eyes and Robbie Wright and Robbie Retro in a Four Corners match. Robbie Wright, still not as popular as these guys, but he's got some potential. Next, we have a 5v5 match, kind of just throwing everybody into in the match that was left over. We got the classic faces versus the heels. The faces end up winning, even though I didn't pick that. I just let the road agent pick, but Brian Vesey, probably his popularity is probably what put them over the edge there, because he's in the mid-70s, where everybody else is probably 60s or lower. Now let's start the real show. First off, we have a video package of ZWB and Randy Unleashed. I know it doesn't say it's a video package. I don't really know the best way to do a video package to simulate that, so I just kind of put them in an angle. And ZWB doesn't like being scripted, so that's why it's saying they did a great job, and they did do a great job. And we're going to lead this right into their match. They're going to start the show off. I would like a little better out of them eventually, but they're going to get there. They just need to get their popularity up. Then we have probably the least important match of the night, as far as maybe the Atomic Coffee match might be the least important. We'll see. Spencer Spade and Mainstream Hernandez go over the New Legends easily with a Supreme Stunner. Every rising star has a stunner move. Speaking of the coffee match, here we go. Adam Smasher putting on. He's in amazing form. That's one of those skill attributes you get. One of those attributes, not skills, attributes. So he's got the Midas touch right now. I put the Crippler over because I want to rehab him a little bit because I kind of hurt his popularity on accident. And you can tell because he had the worst performance of the three, so that's not great. Very happy with Adam Smasher here, though. Adam Smasher's doing good work. Up next, I knew this. Oh, ouch. Paul Huntington with a broken ankle. That kind of seals Monty's fate, doesn't it? Okay. I expected this match to not be great, but I put the straps on the Awesomeness because they're clearly our best tag team. I probably only have a year or two left of them being a tag team before I have to push them as single stars, so I want to get the titles on them a couple more times in that time to really solidify that they're one of the greatest tag teams in SWF history. The Hawaiian Crush got their run. They're probably not going to be a tag team for terribly much longer, being as they both have futures as single stars. These two, I'm not sure what I'm doing with them. Because Mass Patriot is a really good worker, but he's like literally the definition of like a tag team guy. And then Matty Faith is not a good worker, but he has like the pedigree of being Christian Faith's son. So we'll see what happens with that. Broken ankle. Ouchies. Okay, so then we have Skull to Bones and Lenny. Skull to Bones before the match going, hey, good luck, Lenny. I won't be out there. And he's foreshadowing a heel turn again, because we are going to turn him in the middle of this match because he is going to give Des Davids the win. So we're going to turn him heel. Turn was complete success. Hell yes. Then we're going to have the two of them beat down Lenny after Skull and Des Davids. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. These guys put on a decent match here. I put Hollywood BS over because I like him better than Joey with the Hollywood Hammer, baby. Okay, all right. Remo was head and shoulders above everybody. Stephen Parker was the weak link, but I expected that. But an 81 for these four guys with Stephen Parker kind of dragging them down a little bit. That's very good. And hopefully Stephen gets a little popularity. I didn't have him get the win, and I definitely had Rogue take the pin for the bad guy team. So we'll see what happens there. We got a video package of Mikey Lau and Brandon James for their big cage match here, and they perform. Beautiful. That's a good blow off to a feud there. I don't think these guys are going to be really fighting each other much after this, but good feud blow off there. We have an angle between Scythe and Rocky right before their match. An 80. An 80 is pretty good for two guys that don't sell. We didn't get that penalty there. And Scythe, I put the title on Scythe. So we'll see how this affects Rocky's popularity. I don't think it will. I put the note keep strong on him. In a loss, he's going to keep more popularity, but it's going to lower the match grade. But I wasn't expecting like the best match in the world out of these two. So an 80, I'm actually really pleased with that. And I'm not happy with this segment afterwards that only got a 70. But so I figured out what this was. One of the broadcasters I'm on is too small, and that's why we're not gaining popularity there. I don't know which one it is. I'll have to look, but that's what it is. It has to do with my broadcasters, not to do with the actual size of the region. All right, so let's make a speech. I'm going to give Adam Smasher some love because he did really well. I'm going to tell Jungle Lord he did a good job because he's still kind of mad. And hopefully that will cheer him up. And he's actually turning out to be useful in this playthrough, so we'll see. I'm going to give Rocky some props because he just lost the title, and I don't want him to be... He wasn't mad about it at all, but... We'll give him props. So he seemed pleased, seemed pleased, seemed pleased. Beautiful. Let's see what that did to our popularity, ladies and gentlemen. And then we got to figure out what I'm doing next, because that's as far as I wrote out in my plans, is the first 2 months, because I didn't want to plan too far ahead. Oh, an incident involved... Oh, no. He's identified as a steroid user. As the drug testing is done in-house, the press have not gotten hold of the story, so there's currently no potential for damage to company prestige. As an employer, you don't have to choose how to deal with the situation. We're going to fine him, because I think that's probably the right thing to do. It's his first time. If he gets another one, we'll suspend him. And it had a small positive impact on him. Cool. Beautiful. 51 days. That's actually... That's not as terrible as I thought it was. I thought a broken ankle would keep him out like 4 or 5 months. So what we're going to do... Oh, wait, how many... Oh, these guys are mad because they weren't on the show. Dang it. I forgot about that. I should have put the announcers on the pre-show, and I forgot. All right, anyway, let's take Monty, and we'll just put him on vacation. Let's check how... this affected our overness and our perception levels here. So Jack didn't do much. Remo. Ooh, Remo took a hit from that loss. That's not great. Rocky. Okay, see, so Rocky only lost about 1 popularity point in the U.S. And Scythe jumped up into the high 70s. So that's what we wanted. Skull still staying strong here. Adam Smasher lost a couple points. Nothing terrible. Brandon James is pretty steady. He's steady. Des Davids didn't pop back up entirely. He gained a couple points. Ooh, Hollywood Brett Starr from the win there. He jumped up a little bit. Mikey's still kind of in the same range. Randy, mid-70s. ZW, mid-70s, where I want him. Valiant, 78. Caulfield stayed the same, despite losing to guys who were less over. Akuma in the high 60s. I don't know if was he there before. No, he's gained, even though he lost his title. That's good. Who else we got? High Flying Hawaiian. He needs to get into the 60s. He's low. These boys right where they should be. Joey Morgan did lose about 5 points there from that loss to Hollywood. Mainstream finally in the 60s. Ooh, Rogue took a hit. But Steven Parker bounced up? Yes, he very much so did. Dang, Rogue taking a hit sucks. Crippler back up into the high 60s, almost 70s, so that's good. It's a slow process. Spencer's slowly getting up there. I don't think any of these guys did anything important. Jungle Lord's still annoyed. Don't love that, but what can we do? All right, so not the best outcome. A lot of that. The Remo thing sucks. I should have kept strong on him, and I thought he'd be fine because he wasn't taking the pin, but he obviously was very affected by that. He's still one of our franchise players, according to this. Okay, not a star yet, so he's going to be well known. Yeah, I didn't look at him. So he lost a little bit from losing to Dez. But he's going to start a program with Skull that's going to hopefully elevate him quite a bit. Okay, so here's the problem with the storylines, guys, is that I have to have at least 5 storylines with 70 heat to meet the demand of the fans. In order for that to count on a show, like for example, if I make a new storyline and start it on a show, it takes one angle to start it, and then about one angle and another match to really get it up to here, the good score, or to count. So I can't reset all of my storylines at once. You know what I mean? Otherwise, that's going to be bad. So here's what we're going to do. There's a way to kind of cheese this. Because in previous games, storylines, you had to end them, and then that's when the momentum went into account. Now it just tells you, hey, they're rated at very good or fantastic, and that's just based on how you've been booking them, and it's instant. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove Rocky from this storyline. And we're going to remove... is that what I want to do? Hold on, it's better if I write this out. So give me a second to write this out, and I'll give you guys what my plans are. And then we'll move on to the next episode. Okay, so that took me a while, but I'm going to explain to everybody what I did here in the storylines. So basically the way it works is I have to have 5 storylines with at least 70 more heat. If I end all my storylines at once, it's literally impossible to have that for a show, and then we'll have a terrible show. Like, it literally knocks it down like 10 points, and that's not what I want. So what I did is I adjusted some of the storylines. As long as I have at least 2 people left in the storyline, I can just add another worker and remove another worker to make it what I want. So we're going to have Scythe going up against Valiant now, and it'll be a nice first feud for Scythe as champion. And when I book the next show, I'll kind of explain how we're going to get there. I have Remo and ZWB going at it, which I adjusted the Remo's previous storyline. Obviously, Lenny and Skull to Bones are going to go at it. We hinted at that. In a similar vein, we're going to have Jack Bruce lace up the boots for a little bit to go against Brandon James. I'm giving Hollywood BS a program of Rocky Golden, which I think will be a good bounce-back program for Rocky. I didn't really know what to do with these 3, so I kind of threw them together, Gilmore, Morgan, and Randy. Mikey versus Adam Smasher. I think they're going to put on some really good matches. And then the rest of these, I adjusted all 6 of those or 7 of those, so I'm definitely way over the minimum there. And then I added some other ones. Des David's going to defend the North American title against Steven Parker. I think Brian Vesey and the Crippler are going to have a great program because they're both kind of like technician, ground and pound kind of guys. The Awesomists are going to defend their titles against, surprisingly, Jungle Lord. Normally when I play the game, Jungle Lord gets out of that Spencer Spade feud and he's done. I don't do anything with him, but because he has good chemistry with Caulfield, I decided let's have them be the first program for our new tag champs. And then in what is kind of a tag feud, but not necessarily, they're going to mix it up a bunch, is we got Mainstream and Spencer, who I'm now calling Team Supreme, against High Flying Hawaiian and Akuma. I also added some tag teams. We still have the Afternoon Express, which we're not going to be using right now. I made them a unit. I'm going to say they're individuals. We'll fix that. Faith and Old Glory are there still. Fame and Money are inactive right now because Paul's hurt. Hawaiian Crush, Team Supreme. And then I added the Mayhem Express, which is Primus Allen and John Greed, and Team Supreme. Those are the 2 tag teams I added. These guys, I'm going to start really trying to build up their experience and get them going. Even though they don't have like chemistry with each other or whatever, they're great workers, and John Greed's more veteran, so he'll help Primus Allen out a lot. I actually don't know how long this is. So let's go till the next... Oh, that's right. So I have a lot of storylines, and you're like, how are you going to fit all this in every week of Supreme TV? So what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to make Supreme TV... We're going to make it 2.5 hours. We're going to up it a little bit. We're not going to quite go to Monday Night Raw levels where it's 3 hours, but we're going to go 2.5 hours. And that extra half hour will allow me to fit in those other storylines, hopefully. Eventually, I'm going to have to get a second like B TV show in order to get some of these guys work, because like the Oliver Cobbs and the Sammy Smokes of the world aren't getting work. And except, I mean, they're good house show guys, I guess. But okay, I don't know how long this episode was, but I'm going to end it here. And the next episode, because I have to sit down and I actually have to I have the feuds I want, but I actually have to plan out the storyline. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll come back next episode, and I'll book a couple shows, and we'll go into March. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think. Let me know what feuds you want to see or whatever. I don't know if people are even watching this, but because I'm recording all this right away before releasing any of it. So I wanted to get a head start on it. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.